Just thank all of the dignitaries, partners, family, and friends, and on behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of the Children's Advocacy Center, thank you so much for being here today as we celebrate the opening and the ribbon cutting of your Children's Advocacy Center. This is the Children's Advocacy Center for the Bristol County children and families, and you have made it all happen. This is your center, the Bristol County Center of collective expertise to assist our most vulnerable children. This is such an exciting time for the CAC. We get to report every day to this fantastic site each and every day to partner with our law enforcement colleagues, our colleagues at the Department of Children and Families, the District Attorney's Office, the SANE and Pediatric SANE programs, St. Anne's Hospital, the Women's Center, and so many more. While we celebrated our 5-year anniversary in July, we quickly knew after opening our doors that we would need to move to a more adequate space to better address an ever-increasing need to serve child victims of abuse in our county. So here we are, our new CAC, a better place and a better process for children and families impacted by sexual abuse and other forms of violence. A place, a powerful statement. This is a place that is initially an initial point of contact for the investigation to speak of their victimization, and most importantly, where they begin the healing process. While there is no substitute for the role of compassionate and evidence-supported services, a child-focused and child-friendly facility is paramountly important to that child's ability to feel comfortable and safe to speak about what happened to them. There are so many people here today, as well as many who could not join us to celebrate our new facility. So many that have made such an impact on our services to children and family. We're all familiar with Margaret Mead's sentiments about the need for collective wisdom and collective work towards the greater good. Well, this new CAC is no exception to that premise. So if you have volunteered and helped us by answering the phones, vacuuming, planting, if you're a staff member with collective expertise and specialized training, or share a gift of making our kids feel comfortable, if you're an advocate for our funding to ensure the public safety and health of our vulnerable children, if you're an individual or business who has donated to support our mission, and if you're a believer in the need to raise awareness to prevent child sexual abuse, you are all individuals who have made a huge impact on our ability to continue our good work in Bristol County. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize some supporters who have made this new site possible. We would not be here today without the support and generosity of our new landlords, Tom Goslin and Rick Almeida. After a 2+ year search for the right place and looking at almost every commercial place in Fall River, and looking for the right place which could meet our financial capabilities, and in reality our limitations, and more importantly our service needs, I knew this was it. And Tom and Rick knew they wanted to be a part of an agency with a mission to help children and families. Tom, Rick, I don't know where you are. Right over here. Oh, there you are. Okay. Thank you so much for your generosity and for caring so much about our work and helping to make our dream of a child-focused facility a reality. If you ask them both, they will tell you I'm not the easiest person to deal with when it comes to ensuring the best for our kids in Bristol County. but we all share the desire to help our children in this county, so thank you. To Bay Coast Bank. To Bay Coast Bank, who is represented here today by our many friends and supporters, as well as on our board of directors, but has also provided support for the build-out for this building, I thank you as well. And to our county commissioners, Paul Kitchen, Maria Lopes, and John Mitchell, for your unending support insisting with our occupancy over the last 3 years. I also need to let folks know that you've heard me speak publicly on a number of occasions around the cut in our state funding, and we had our state funding reinstated this July 1st after a 4-year run on providing services to children and families on less than $100,000. And if it wasn't for the advocacy of Senator Mike Rodrigues and the Southeastern Legislative Delegation, we would not be here in this phenomenal facility without their support. It was the most amazing bipartisan support. There's no more compelling mission than to help abused children. So I thank the Southeastern Legislative Delegation as well. DA Sutter, the work and collaboration of your office, and most particularly those prosecutors within the Special Victims Unit, and the leadership of Assistant District Attorney Sylvia Rudman, bring the beauty of this site to new levels. As I mentioned before, the CAC is both a place and a process, and both are now state-of-the-art. Thank you so much for your support and your partnership in our mutual work to end violence to children and to ensure that the process of justice for victims is a holistic one. The partnership between the CAC and the DA's office has led to so much success, highlighted most importantly through justice and healing for victims. And I must pay particular attention to Mayor Will Flanagan and the City of Fall River for their own ongoing support to this agency. Mayor Flanagan, too, has been unwavering in his support for our work. You understand the mission of the CAC and have a keen interest in ensuring the best for the children of this city and our county. It is further supported by Chief Racine and the school department, evidenced by the CAC's role in training both first responders in the police department and various staffs within the school department. Mayor Flanagan, thank you for being here today and sharing in our celebration. You know the impact to children and families through your work with the DA's office previously and understand the impact of such a heinous crime against a child. When you go by City Hall, you will see CAC flags sharing our prevention message that there's no excuse for child abuse. Mayor, thank you so much for being a strong supporter of our mission and being a part of our team to end child abuse. So for those of you who have been around me for the last 10 months, while this new CAC was being built and I was making my daily or multi-time trips down here, you know that I could go on for days about how excited I am about our new facility and why I think it's so important that we've moved to this new site. Well, I'll spare you any more of my endless enthusiasm. I'm going to ask another champion of the Children's Advocacy Center and of our county to say a few words about the CAC and the amazing staff that work with hundreds of children and families we serve each year. So I'd like to introduce our board president, Leslie Knowles.
Thank you, Michelle, and welcome everyone. This is a wonderful, wonderful day. 5 years ago, I was thrilled that we were opening the doors of our first Children's Advocacy Center in Bristol County, and that long-held dream had finally become a reality. But from almost the moment we walked into the lower level of South Main Street, Michelle and I started plotting our next move. We had adequate starter space, but we knew we needed a larger facility. We worried about the numerous access issues for our clients, our staff, and our multidisciplinary team. I often worried about how the staff was faring working in windowless offices, multiple heating and cooling zones, and other basement-like challenges. But for 5 years they made do, and they did it with very little complaint. Standing today at the entry of 58 Arch Street, the next dream has become a reality. This is the proper, state-of-the-art space for the children and our staff and for our multidisciplinary team. I'm so grateful to Michelle for her relentless legwork and for not settling for spaces that didn't feel right. And also to Tommy and Rick for all of their work and what they've given to the county. They have proven to be our knights in shining armor. Thank you both again. As you all know, the CAC is a place where children and family arrive scared, desperate, confused, and wounded. We know that human relationships can create and destroy. They can nurture and terrorize. They can traumatize and they can heal. Our devoted staff at the CAC lives on the front line as they meet the victims of the most horrific crimes and help them as they begin their journey of hope and survival. This is no easy task. On a daily basis, Michelle, Anne, Denny, Brianna, Jessica, Vanjie, Dolly, Jana, and Carolyn all see the emotional carnage left behind by the worst of mankind. They represent the best of humanity, and I thank them. Earlier this week, I asked this wonderful group to tell me a few things about what moving to this space has meant to them. First of all, thinking only of their clients, of course, they commented on the improved ease of access. The location is easier to drive to, it's easier to find, and we have ample, plentiful parking. For anybody who's had to make special trips and frequent trips to the old CAC knew that was a bit of a nightmare. These are all good things when you're a scared and distracted parent bringing your child for a forensic interview. With multiple waiting rooms, we are now able to serve more families at the same time without compromising their privacy. The staff is enjoying watching children and families respond to the space. One 7-year-old who recently came here for interview walked into the building and exclaimed, "Wow, it's a house." And his mother shared that she had feared that her son would be walking into a scarier place. Our staff is pleased to be able to accommodate our partner agencies with the bigger and more comfortable working environments. The larger teams can now all fit into the new observation rooms. The CAC has been validated as an agency that is worthy of being above ground, with windows and a beautiful water view. And our staff truly appreciates the health benefits of being in an above-ground facility, as well as shopping at Save-A-Lot and Troy City Gas and Dunkin' Donuts. And so do our families. Our families can appreciate that also when they come. It's all very accessible. And our wonderful nurse, Anne, is now able to do all of her medical laundry here instead of lugging it home. And lastly, to a person, we are all thrilled that Michelle has the beautiful office that she deserves. We are now in a place that many a CAC would long to be, and given that we've only existed for 5 years, this is an accomplishment that has happened in a very, very short period of time. It is an inspiration, and as always, I am so very proud to be a part of this work. Thank you all, and enjoy your morning here at the CAC.
Just a few words, Michelle, no more than that. Let me begin by some thank yous. I'd like to thank Michelle and Leslie for everything that you put into making this happen, all of the members of the CAC who have been mentioned. I should say at the outset that I was skeptical that this would work when this first came up at a board meeting. I came out here in January visiting with my friend Tom Goslin, and I became even more skeptical. I mean, I couldn't even get into the building. I had to jump over some bricks and worried about spraining an ankle or worse. And when I came back in May, I was still skeptical. But I'm not skeptical any longer. This is absolutely beautiful, and tremendous thanks to Tom and Rick and to everybody that had the vision and made it a reality. So I'm very proud to have been a part of it. But the work is just beginning. The mission of the Children's Advocacy Center, which has been going on now for 5 years, and I think maybe the board meetings will be better attended now that we're above ground. That work, we have we have, all of us agree, a long way to go. We're intent on reducing child abuse here in Bristol County, and perhaps maybe even being a model for the reduction of child abuse statewide, and dare to dream maybe even nationwide. This mission, this goal is as noble as there is. I put it right up there, the reduction of child abuse, with the other most noble goals that we as a people aspire towards, whether it's peace, reducing hunger, curing disease. There is no more heinous crime than the abuse of a child, and there is no crime that ramifies more, that has greater consequences. When you think about the impact on the child, on the child's family, what happens to the child, whether it's becoming more inclined to be addicted to drugs and alcohol or abusing others themselves. This is something that we as a group and as a county need to resolve stronger than ever to reduce. This is the beginning, and I'm very excited to see so many people here today. I didn't anticipate this kind of turnout, and Banji, you're going to have to get in touch with my press secretary so that you may be able to learn a thing or two, but just kidding, Greg. Thanks to all of you for showing your support for what's taking place here today, but also for the larger mission, which is to reduce child abuse and to make the journey for those abused easier, more tolerable, more productive than before. So this is a very exciting and inspiring day, and all of you are sharing in it. Thank you very much.
And I'd now like to invite Mayor Will Flanagan from the City of Fall River to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and it's an honor for me to be standing here at this ribbon cutting. And for those of you who may have not been familiar with the site at a time not too long ago, this was a site that was a vacant lot with overgrown vegetation. And I really want to say thank you to Tommy Goslin and Ricky Almeida for having the vision and the fortitude to make an investment in this site. Not the greatest economy that we're living in right now, and for somebody to put up their own capital, to take a risk, and to develop a piece of property talks about their type of character, especially for the project they knew they were developing it for. So Ricky and Tommy, just want to say thank you for being a part of the fabric in this community, and thank you for taking this venture and making this project a reality. And the CAC, its staff, its clinicians, its therapists, really do God's work. And if you can just take a moment to think the type of work that happens here. You have a child who's a victim of either physical or some type of sexual assault, and then they have to tell their story. And they have to tell their story because it's important to gather evidence in the criminal case. And without that evidence, the person who is responsible for that heinous crime could go scot-free. So you have a young child who has to come into an unknown facility, talk to people they never met before, and describe to them god-awful acts. And for the folks who come here to work every day, you're really just unbelievable people. To be able to, day in and day out, sit down with the child, console him or her, have him or her tell her story, and then use that evidence to convict the person responsible for committing that heinous act. And without the CAC, Bristol County would not be a safer place as it is today. And whenever I have an opportunity to promote the CAC or to do anything to assist them, I'm always here for this organization because they're always here for the children of Bristol County. And working with the DA's office, working with the various police chiefs, the police officers, I see many of whom are here today, the assistant DAs, the clinicians, the social workers, the various social agencies. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort to protect children in our county. And what's happening here in Bristol County should be used as a role model for other places in Massachusetts, and as the DA said, hopefully at some point, nation and worldwide. because there's no more valiant of an effort than protecting the health and safety of our children. So to all the folks gathered here today, I say thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for keeping the CAC here in Fall River. And I will continue to be a supporter, advocate, and friend of this organization because I truly believe in what you do. God bless all of you. Thank you.
So who wants me to keep talking so we can stay outside in this beautiful weather in October and delay going back to work? So we're going to have the ribbon cutting ceremony. I'd like to ask Tom Gosselin and Rick Almeida to come and join us and be part of this momentous occasion. And I also would like to invite you to come in for refreshments and see the slideshow that folks spoke outside and take a look at what this place looked like before they put all of their sweat equity into making this an amazing, amazing place. So,
Yeah, do a countdown.
Should we do a countdown from 5?
Thank you very much, everyone. Come on back in and have some coffee and refreshments.
How are you? Good morning. Pretty strong. How are you? Good morning. I just had to get your, I remember.
This is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, really? What, just so?
Hey, David, how are you?
I know, doesn't that like really want it out of the website?
Well, no, it's fine, though, because if you
Of course I do.
Seen it walk through.
Oh, I've seen it from...
You know Carl Davis from the Bay
I've
Coast.
seen it from when you didn't want to see it.
We have a slide.
I saw her on the way in.
Yes, I did.
No, I did not.
Kathy Murray, she's a marketing director at Home Medical. And we just got some good news that we have been really funded as a result of a grant that Home Medical has. Michelle's from the